the Knoxville Nationals. They're lean, they're mean, they're 700 horses, a man and machine. They're full wide, green flag, showtime. The Knoxville Nationals are green. The salesman was quickest in qualifying. Quick time at a 16.810. But in the end, Keith Jackson took the win. Jackson takes the win in night number 2 at Knoxville. 16 drivers are in. 10 have a shot at pole, but many aren't safe. So what do? Do it the Hard Knocks way. 4 spots are up for grabs. How bad do you want to make it in? How hard can you push the car to get into the top 4? And can you hang on to stay in the show? Night 3 of the Knoxville Nationals for Mike Westbrook, and it's time to race, Hard Knocks style. The salesman was quickest in qualifying. Quick time at a 16.810. But in the end, Keith
And wouldn't you know it here, we're live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And man, you heard me mess up that intro music. Marty gave me coaching today, and I still didn't click the button in time here. So, Marty Sakala, man, I appreciate that coaching, but man, one for Shaggy here tonight. But I'll tell you what, there's some drivers here ready to put on a show here for a Hard Knocks night here at Knoxville Nationals, night number 3. I'm going to read you off the top 10 in points because these are the guys you're going to want to focus on here for this first session. Keith Jackson, number 1 in points. Brad Wade, Blake Chatham. We got Rick Maine, Randy Shreves, P-Daddy, Ryan Padgett, 6th, Patrick Spangler, 7th, John Heide, Austin Bosker in a 9th, everybody who's supposed to be this here right now. So if everyone doesn't show up, they may have to readjust here a little bit. We'll see as the night goes on. And this first part, like I say, this is the pole scramble, the top 10. We're trying to set the top 10 for tomorrow night's feature. What it'll be is 9th, 8th, and 7th will be in this first session here. I have 4 guys, 4 laps. Top 2 advance. Race 6th. Top 2 advance from that. The race. The top 2 advance. That is set in the final. And that is how we're going to go. We're not going to have a very good graphic to give you during this event. We're just going to have to kind of pay attention during the post scrambles. We're just going to run it in a practice sessions. We're going to have to live parade. We're going to have to pay attention here, but man, we are pumped to bring you night number 3, and you know, none of it would be possible without Sprint Car Hall of Fame here in Knox. We donated a hefty prize there for the cards, and I mean, it's just that how awesome is it to have those guys on board this event? But the Venom Race team, they've done so much for these guys. You know, you're gonna hear me talk they're the proud sponsor. You know, we are all here at the Steve King Foundation. Great cause. Support, you know, not just races and accidents, but family members of racers, crew members, you know, guys that just go out of their way to, you know, be a part of the racing community, and they're out there trying to help. Great group of guys here, and you know, we're looking to push our max. I believe check a little over 50 last year. My numbers are probably a message from Roger telling me the exact number. We're happy to donate, and you know, guys, don't even race. The cars are pretty loud here, so dumb my sound down here. See if that improves this a little bit. Probably the camera angles that I was messing with earlier today. I didn't adjust the mic volume correctly. Oh, there you see Kyle Fahey get involved. Tyler Flynn wrap it up in there. Blake Chapman, let's watch him for a lap or two here. This guy, he's gonna be 100% competing for the pole here tonight. Gonna kiss the wall a little bit, getting a little too high, and might make him call it quits here. He may have damaged the car a little bit. May want to go get a new one here. Let's see here. You may get a little iRacing Insider, because that's probably actually the best way to do this here. Let's go in. Just running some 24 hours with my teammates. Let's turn these engines down just a bit. We'll click off that, and we are back. That seems to be a little more doable here. In the 16, he is who we have our eye on right now. Kyle Fahey is the only one on the track. So he's not even involved in the whole shootout here, but he is going to wear in the track for everyone. That's pretty nice of him here, as Patrick Spengler put out a big roll call earlier today, asking guys to show up to help wear the track in for this event, because if guys were not here wearing the track in, we weren't going to have much passing here in this event. Cullen Johnston, actually, he's going to go out and he's in the Steve King Foundation pace truck we were talking about here, and he's going to go wear down the track with this Craftsman Truck Series rod. So quiet. Kind of riding around in a high gear, you don't want to rev the RPMs too much. Spin out the pace truck. Probably trying to get a nice feel for it here. Who is that coming up behind me? I could not tell who that was coming up behind Cullen Johnston there, but back in the pits. Rick Main gonna pull this thing out. Second to last. Full Scramble over here as he's fourth in the place. So he'll start outside of Blake Chapman, and those two approaches yet to be determined. And we're just giving a couple guys a few more minutes to try to get in here. So see a couple guys we're missing. I still have yet to see John Hine, Jackson, Ross Corinna. So not sure if everybody's going to be able to make their race here or not. Stop, of course, right as I switch the camera to him. We'll go over to Cullen Johnston here back in the Steve King Foundation pace truck. Cullen Johnston only, what is that, 8 seconds off the pace there, 8.6 seconds. An impressive lap time in the truck. Chapman practicing being high and handsome there at 1 and 2. You know, you just gotta test. You gotta see what's up there. Blake's one of those guys who loves to catfish, loves to run the bottom of the racetrack. He's very good down there. You know, he's willing to stay committed to the bottom, but if there's a bunch of speed up top, he can't hang himself out to dry, and you know that's what he's experimenting with. Gotta see how much speed's at the top of the racetrack right now. Jeff Parker, he'll be in the first full scramble of the night here, starting in 4th. Looks like we did get Ross Corinna. We do have a Ross the Boss sighting here in the 10 machine. How he looks right now on the time charts. Let's look at the most recent times, just so you can see what kind of times people are running. These are recent. Where the track's on, what kind of speed is in the track. Chapman though, 16, 17-0 last time. Randy Shreves with a 16.94. He's pretty quick right now. Chapman then runs a 16.91, so he's back in the 16s. Around the salesman here tonight. Now, obviously, a lot of stuff can change, but if somebody stuck a gun to my head right now, this is who I'd tell them. This 20 hasn't been able to necessarily seal the deal here in a big event as of recent, but kind of been dealt offhand. These quick sprints suit a guy like Blake Chapman. He doesn't need a lot of time to get in a rhythm here and look up. He's one of those guys that right out of the gate, he can go to the bottom and run fast. He doesn't need any practice. Big advantage for the young kid in the 20 rod. Here about my mic. I never mess with any of my mic settings, but apparently I still sound a little low, so let me mess around here. I swear the mic has never changed from the day-to-day thing. It's just hopefully that'll do it here, but if not, I'm just gonna have to start screaming a little bit here. Or I'll have to stay out of TV2 here, as that one seems to get a lot of mic gain here. And anybody who has sent me those messages, feel free to send them again to let me know if I am any louder, if this is any better here. I'm trying to fix this stuff on the fly here. Steven, now I'm looking here at the chat, I can see other people here telling me I'm quiet. If you don't mind, chime in again there, Steven or Joe. Let me know if I sound any better at all here. Let me see here. I'm going to go back into this. Let's see here. All right, hopefully tweaking some of that mic gain will fix it up a little bit here. All right, so people are saying much better, Andy, a little more there. Hopefully that did it, turning down that mic gain. But now it looks like Colin Johnston here, he's going to pull to the end of the pit road. It looks like we might be getting ready to roll here, as everybody is off the track, so I got a feeling this is going to be go time here. And once again, remember, we are not going to have help here from the leaderboard on the side. Do not pay any attention to it. That means nothing. If there are any close races to the line here, You know, an admin's going to have to make the call. Because right now, it seems like that is what's going on. Probably giving guys a quick briefing here. Looks like we are maybe missing John Hine. I don't see John Hine here. So this first one might just have 3 in it. All right, perfect. Yeah, sorry about the mic issues there, guys, in the beginning. Is hopefully it wasn't too brutal. Like I say, I was flirting around with changing some cameras today, and I bet you with the positions that I moved them, I needed to change the amount of sound input they took in, and, well, you live and you learn here. But right now, we should be waiting on Jeff Barker, Ross Corinna. John Hine isn't here. Patrick Spangler should be in this first one. Right now, that is... Let's find out. Yeah, that's P Daddy here. He's up on the grid. You know, this is one of those things, too, where if you're Ryan... Yeah, I was going to say there's a strategy in itself. You don't want to sit up there too long, especially if you're really close on fuel. You don't want to run out of gas, so Ryan's just going to tow back, and there we see Patrick Spangler there on your screen. Patrick Spangler, he did a quick reset again here. He doesn't want to run out of gas. Beautiful sunset right now here at Knoxville. Here we go, starting to grid them up. Patrick will start on the inside of row number 1 here for the first shootout. Or excuse me, Jeff Barker will actually. No. Yeah, I was going to say he is supposed to be behind Patrick. All right, I was wondering what was going on. I saw it was listed like that, but those weren't the order of points, and it looks like there's Ross. So only one isn't going to advance here. John Hine, he did not make the call for tonight. Not sure what's going on there. And he will have to start in 10th place here this evening. Or, I mean, tomorrow night, not this evening. As what is going on now has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the night. Sorry, you guys moving around in the back, they're all confusing me. I thought maybe we were going to end up having 4 in this race. Wasn't sure what happened, so we are just going to run the 3 here. So it'll be 4 laps here. I imagine that Steve King Foundation pace truck will pull in here as we go on by. If any drivers are listening, I'll ask 100% please that you stay in the pits here, because with my SDK software not really being able to track you guys like laps and stuff, I'd rather you stay in gray as much as possible. But here we go. Let's see if the Steve King Foundation pace truck pulls in, or if we go one more time around here. We're going to go one more time around. So, guys, you know, this is where you definitely want to make sure you got enough fuel in this thing to survive. It's Ross Corinna and Patrick Spangler. You know, this is a battle on a Monday night that we expect to see with a couple laps to go here, battling for first. And, I mean, these two, they could find themselves having to work their way the whole way up to the final event here of the night and start on the front row tomorrow. And if anybody can do it, it's those two. Here's the Steve King Foundation pace truck is off. We're going to come up here to the starter stand, and we are going to go green flag this time by. Patrick Spangler gets to set the pace in that 39 machine, and Ross Corinna falls in line right behind him. Jeff Barker, meanwhile, he's going to go to the top shelf in a hurry and try to get a run on that 10. Reels him in a little bit going down the backstretch, but now the 10, he goes way up top, and he's going to try a diamond line, and the 39 makes a little mistake in 3 and 4. He's going to let the back 2 reel him in. Jeff Barker looked to the bottom in 1 and 2, but just got a little sideways. Lost all his momentum here, and now coming up to the halfway point, Ross, the boss Corinna, is looking for Patrick Spangler here. 2 to go. The 39 goes defensive into 1 and 2. He throws that slider line. Ross Corinna gets a big run off the top. This is where he's been strong, though, in 3 and 4. Let's see what kind of run he gets right up here against the fence. You see him cut off the wall. Can't look under the 39 here. White flag's out. Final time around Knoxville. It seems like they're both going to make it as Jeff Barker is not on their pace right now. Ross is going to go up high. He gets a short slider fed on him from Patrick Spangler coming to the line. Final time. Ross looks low. Patrick Spangler at the line. They're both going to advance, though. Both going to run to the next one. Jeff Barker, he is going to start Thursday night in 9th place. And you know, I think the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker, he is going to be just fine with that. He knows he's got a long way to go tomorrow night. And starting 9th, well, you know, that's not such a bad place to be here at Knoxville. So now the next, let's see here. Everyone is here for the next one, I believe. So Randy Shreves will start on the inside of the front row for this one. To his outside, P. Daddy, Ryan Paget. And then row number 2 will be the front 2 we just saw. Patrick Spangler will start 3rd, and Ross Corinna will start to his outside. Just waiting on, we had the camera there on Randy Shreves. We're just waiting on him here. If we zoom in, we'll pressure him into getting up there to the grid. Is, you know, if he doesn't get up there soon, the other guys are going to want to reset and refuel up the car here. But 56, he is ready to go here. So those front 2, they got their work cut out for them with those 2 drivers behind them. And they showed they're fast, but with only 4 laps to get by them, not a lot of time here. And once again, going to follow the Steve King Foundation pace truck around the Knoxville Raceway. Steve King Foundation, that pace truck, man, that beautiful blue, and you know, look at all those wonderful sponsors on that thing. Go on board with it. Let's see here if we can use my gyro. See how flat Knoxville is, even in the truck. It doesn't really rotate. It's a fairly flat track here. This will be the final time around, though, for these guys. Should be getting ready to race here. Coming off of turn 4, Randy Shreves will set the pace and look to advance here into the next set of drivers. Here's Ryan, maybe jumps the gun a little early. Randy Shreves caught him, and now he gets to go, and he pulls Patrick Spangler along. Ryan Paget from 2nd to 4th already here at Knoxville. Oh, P. Daddy getting up in that wall in 3 and 4, trying to look to the outside, but battle for the lead. The high side banger, Patrick Spangler, looks to the inside of the 56. Randy Shreves, though, with a big run off of turn 2, able to pull way far away from Patrick Spangler. As Patrick, he's just got to go back up top here and protect, whereas we're halfway. 2 to go. Look at the boss, Ross Corinna. He throws a slide job on the 39. Patrick Spangler goes to the bottom in 3 and 4. Looks to throw a slider of his own as he's going to park it on Ross. But this is where Ross Corinna has been fast. That diamond line in 3 and 4. White flag this time by. Final time around, and these guys are duking it out. Patrick Spangler looks to be in the preferred position here if he can just hold the middle, not let Ross Corinna diamond back under him, but Ross is going to look low, and Ross looks like he got him at the line. That one is going to be close to call, but Randy Shreves, man, he definitely made it in. But Ross Corinna, not too sure how close that was at the line. I believe Ross had it. And I think they just ran an extra lap for you know what. Unless maybe I got my lap count off. That is what I was worried about here with not having a cheat sheet there. Right now, I won't get any confirmation on who got that second finishing spot until we actually watch them grid here. So the next event's going to look a little something like this. Blake Chapman will start on the inside of the front row here for this one. Rick Mayne to his outside. Randy Shreves on the inside of row number 2. And yes, Ross Corinna was able to get the pass done at the line. As you see him make his way out here, Ross is looking to climb the ladder here tonight at Knoxville Raceway. Once again, going out behind the Steve King Foundation pace truck. You see the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame on there. You see my beautiful logo on there. Maurer Farm Management, Flatline Racing Bodies, the Salty Dogs, FTM, Venom Racing. I mean, the list goes on and on. I can't make all of them. Dylan Westbrook Racing. I mean, just a beautiful truck here tonight. And tomorrow night, if I wasn't in the booth, man, I would have bugged to ask to drive that thing. But being in the booth with Marty, it's a little more important there, I believe. As they come out of turn 2 for the final time here, behind the Steve King Foundation pace truck is Cullen Johnston, our driver here tonight. He'll get ready to pull it in. You see going down the backstretch, he gets low, he gives the drivers room, and Blake Chapman is going to look to set the pace out front here at Knoxville Raceway. Blake Chapman, here he comes. Good jump for the salesman as he's able to pull along Randy Shreves. Randy Shreves third to second there going down the front stretch. Randy Shreves, though, he's going to feel the heat from Rick Mayne as Rick Mayne's going to look low. And Ross, I mean, he loves this. He went in high. He's going to counter down low, and he may look to go for a 2-for-1. No, he's just going to fall in line for now and let those guys go at it. Randy Shreves looking to have P2 almost locked up here as Ross Corinna and Rick Mayne are going hard at it. Ross the boss with a slider going into 1 as we're halfway 2 to go. Out front, Blake Chapman, he is gone. He is going to win this thing barring a huge mistake. White flag in the air. Final time as Ross Corinna tries to go for the climb here. Throws a slider on the 56 of Randy Shreves. Can he hold it right now going down the backstretch? Randy Shreves looks slow going into 4. Ross is going to pitch him down, not give him any room. Ross is going to get the better run out of 4. Blake Chapman's going to win. Ross Corinna's going to bring home P2. He's going to keep the epic climb going. And, well, Randy Shreves and Rick Mayne, we'll see them more of them tomorrow night as Randy Shreves will start in 5th place tomorrow. Rick Mayne in 6th. Final pole shuffle event here of the night. And it's going to look like this. Keith Jackson on the pole. Brad Waite to his outside. Blake Chapman on the inside of row number 2. And Randy Shreves in the 56. And Ross Corinna, excuse me. Passed Randy Shreves in the 56 there. Held him down on the last lap. And Ross Corinna looking to do the impossible here. Qualified 9th. Can't start any worse than 4th now. And he is just looking to improve in that 10 machine. As these 4 guys, you know, they know this is where we should see the fireworks here. You can't start any worse than 4th in the main show. Go out here, wreck it, tear it up. You got all day to fix it. You know, you want to start on that front row. At the same time, you don't want to go out here and make any enemies, you know. But, you know, you got to go out here, put on a show, sell some t-shirts here. This is what this race is about. I'm not sure what the plan is. I plan on trying to basically bring you the top 4 here in this race if they come up. But we'll definitely most likely get the top 3 here like normal. But Steve King Foundation pace truck is low. It's pulling in here this time by, and Keith Jackson looks to bring us to the green flag here at Knoxville Speedway. Good start for Keith, and you know, Brad Waite as well, but looky who on the outside, Ross Corinna, he taps the wall a little bit. He's got to get out of it. Blake Chapman on the bottom, the salesman, though, he's coming to do some work here. He's up to P2 with 3 to go. Ross Corinna with that slider there on Brad Waite, and Brad Waite's just looking to maybe hook a rope onto the back of Ross and see if he can't get towed around. Halfway this time by, 2 to go here. Keith Jackson out front, not feeling any pressure here. As Blake Chapman not able to run him down here. He's getting as high up on that wall as he can, really trying to diamond down. But now with the white flag out, he's feeling some pressure from Ross Corinna. This is the battle on the track here as they do actually reel in your leader a little bit. Final time through 3 and 4. Keith Jackson is going to start on the front row for the Knoxville Nationals, and to his outside, he'll be beside the salesman and Ross Corinna, P3, and, well, Brad Waite, P4. Nothing wrong with that. Keith Jackson, though, the man of the hour here. Gonna start on the coveted front row spot, and man, it really is gonna be important. There's gonna be tack left on the bottom. You're gonna want to get that run on the bottom through 1 and 2. And Keith, he went out here. He set himself up for a good one here. See, everybody gonna get in the shot here. I'm trying to find a way that gets all of them. Cullen's got to park a little closer here. There we go, Cullen. Keep backing up. Man, what a good one here. As we were treated to an amazing finale, and we'll give these guys a chance to catch their breath and pull them up here in the booth. You know what? I'm going to do a little work of my own. I see Brad down in the Discord. We'll bump him up here. Hey, Brad, Shaggy up here in the broadcast booth, man. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, hey, man, P4, maybe not what you wanted here, to start the night, but all in all, you've got to remember, hey, man, you put yourself in a good spot for this thing tomorrow night.
Yeah, I thought I could maybe do a little bit better in there, the little pole shuffle. But the worst thing about it, I thought to myself, hey, the worst I can start is fourth. So, being with that, and we're not going to hang our head down. I had a very good qualifying night and got me some extra laps here. So do a little bit more tweaking, and 47 laps is a long way, and we'll just hopefully be there up front by the time the checker flag comes out.
Yeah, how cautious are you speaking of 47 laps? We've seen guys in the past run out of gas on the last lap. So how big of a deal is it going to be, going into tomorrow night, trying to save fuel in the early stages of the race?
I think just be smart. Probably give her hammer down about 10-15 to go and let it all hang out, because I'll tell you what, if I'm going down swinging. So I'll be ready for it.
I'll tell you what, Brad, that is the attitude that I love, and that's what I want to hear, man. This thing's for charity. I want to see everything go out the window here tomorrow night, and, man, we know you got a fast hot rod. I'm looking to see what that thing can do tomorrow night, man.
I'm very excited for it, and hopefully we put on a great show for all the fans.
Well, hey, man, you did, and you got a lot of beautiful sponsors on that thing. Who you want to thank?
Oh, we'll just give the rundown quick. So just everybody at Furno Motorsports, A&J Custom Creations, Dawn at DNT Designs, my boy Dylan at Highline Cinematography, still doing good stuff. Vapor Trail Clothing, Coast to Coast Racing. You got Malcolm Mills Millwrighting, Mike Westbrook Memorial. You guys up in the booth, you guys always put on a great work. The Steve King Foundation, Gant Machine, Reliable Tire and Auto in Holliesburg, and Casey Della Photography.
A hell of a job tonight, Brad, man. Looking forward to see what you can do tomorrow night, my dude.
All right, man. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
That's Brad Waite, and he's going to start P4 tomorrow night. And, this man right here, bringing him up, Ross Corinna. You were supposed to start this thing 9th place, man, but you had other ideas here tonight. Hell of a job.
Yeah, obviously third's better than 9th. Last night, like lap 10 or something, I tagged the wall coming out of 2 and broke the car, it said. So I was able to hang on for a 5th. I don't think I would have had anything for Keith or Blake in the feature last night, but getting 3rd probably would have gave me a little bit better pole shuffle position today. But luckily the car felt good. I was able to kind of keep it nice and smooth on that cut down, and was able to pass some cars and make my way up to the last shuffle.
Yeah, you read my mind there with that cut down. You were kind of the only guy using it there. And then in the last race, Blake Chapman, I think, kind of saw what you were doing there in 3 and 4, and he started to do it himself. Was that the difference? You just couldn't get around him when he took that line away?
Yeah, when you're doing it out of 4, you got to hit it kind of almost perfect. And I think if I would have had one more lap, I maybe would have got him if he would have stayed on that line. But I don't know. Keith and Blake are just so dominant on the bottom. We gotta make sure we wear that out tomorrow so we can keep up with them.
Well, I asked Brad, and I'm gonna ask you the same thing, Ross. We've seen guys run out of gas in this thing numerous times. I mean, what's the game plan? Do we take the first couple laps easy, or do we try to get up towards the front and then we take it easy? What's the plan?
Well, obviously, luckily with the pole shuffle, the way it worked tonight, I'm going to be starting up front, so probably take it easy a little bit. You don't want to let anybody. You don't want to fall back too far though, because once you do and the track slicks off, it's going to be even harder to make passes. So it's kind of going to have to be a happy medium between kind of taking it easy, but also not letting people run by you numerous times or whatever. But luckily, or hopefully, I can kind of keep it so I'm taking it easy at the beginning, but yet still feel fast. So we'll see. It's obviously tomorrow night. The track's going to be in a little bit different of state, so going to have to do some tweaking on a setup. But car felt good tonight, so hopefully we can get something dialed in tomorrow.
Well, that 10 machine looked fast tonight, Ross, and man, I'm looking forward to what you got tomorrow night. But got a lot of sponsors on that pretty thing, man. Who you want to thank?
Yeah. Phantom Motorsports guys, Vanderbilt guys, M9 Performance, Power Outdoors, Velocity Races on Weichel Sportswear. got a couple. Oh, Joey Linger on photography. Always forget him. Takes pictures of the cars that I make. So got all real life sponsors on there, but don't want to go through those guys. So that's probably about it. And then obviously, just want to thank everybody at Coast to Coast for putting on this event, and all you broadcasters taking turns keeping it on air.
Well, hey, hell of a job, Ross. You guys make it fun, man. You're able to climb the ladder there tonight. Go from the basically the worst starting spot there because John didn't show up, and you're bringing it home third. So hell of a job, Ross. Looking forward to see what you can do tomorrow night, man.
All right, thanks, Shaggy.
That's Ross Corinna bringing it home in P3, and now we're gonna bring up the salesman here, and Blake. It seemed like you let him run away from you there on the second lap, but man, those final 2 laps, you got your rhythm together, and it looked like you were running him down, just ran out of time.
Yeah, I just wanted to see how well this car ran on a different line other than the bottom, and I know I wasn't going to get around Keith on the bottom. I figured he was just going to stick it down there the whole time, so I'm like, I'll just go up top, see if the line was still working that I was running in the warm-up earlier, and it didn't seem like that slider line was quite there, but running full bore around that top felt not too bad. So I think we found a little something with this car that we can use come tomorrow night for sure.
Well, Blake, what's the game plan going into tomorrow night? You're starting on the front row. Do you want to get by Keith early and try to control that pace and, save some right rear tire and gas, or you just want to let him go do his own thing and, you're going to worry about yourself there in the beginning?
I'm not exactly sure yet. We'll just play it by ear, see what happens when the time comes. But, I think it's going to come down to, who can save tire most effectively and who has a car that can really move around on the track. Because, Knoxville, there's going to be different lines that come into play. That middle, top, and bottom lines are all going to be there at different points in the race. That's just a guarantee when you're running at this place. And, when you're going 47 laps, you got to save some tire for the end if you want to make a run or hold on to a win. So it's going to come down to a balance of those two things, and hopefully we have the right balance come tomorrow night.
I noticed Monday night you were hanging out with Shorty there, spotting for him a little bit, and were you able to learn anything from him to adjust on the car for last night and then a little more for this evening?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. I'm not usually a spotter for some people, but, I did for Shorty Monday night, and I'll do it Terry for tonight on Hard Knocks, try and turn some wrenches for him. But, yeah, I mean, it's tough because, I'm not in the car. I can't feel what's happening with the car, so it's pretty difficult. But just to see how the lines are coming in and, what's taking grip and what's not is, something I keep mind of. And I think I did learn a little something there from Monday night, but we'll find out.
Yeah, we will tomorrow night, man. Hell of a job here, kids, putting that Galen's popcorn machine on the front row. But, you deserve to give a little sponsor shout out tonight, Blake. Who we got on that ride?
Yeah, I got to thank the family for watching. I got to thank all the guys at the Kreitz Sim Racing team and the Can-Am Racing team. Got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at A&J Custom Creations. And, I got to shout out Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. They got some of the best stuff out there. You can get their stuff by heading over to their website. And don't forget to use code CART at checkout for 15% off. I got to thank Sweet Pea for all the hospitality on this Knoxville trip. And I got to thank you for putting this broadcast on.
Well, hey, hell of a job tonight, Blake. Front row tomorrow night, man. Looking forward to see what that 20 can do.
Thanks, Zach.
That's Blake Chapman starting on the outside of the front row tomorrow. And now, man, we're bringing up the man of the hour. Keith, man, you got that good start in the beginning, and, dude, you just never looked back. I mean, that was never in check. You got to feel good going into tomorrow night.
Yeah, I feel pretty positive. Seems like we got the bottom side rolling pretty good, so hopefully it'll pay off, and we can keep out of trouble tomorrow evening.
Yeah, and you're actually talking about that bottom side paying off, and just a little driver's insight here, where I'm gonna want to pick your brain a little bit. Now, do you want to make that bottom line work out of necessity there, maybe to save some fuel? Is that the look here? Do you got to find a way to save some gas here in this 47 lap feature? I mean, we've seen guys run out of gas so many times in this race in the past, and if you rip that lip for 47 laps, man, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, there's no way you could go around the top, I don't think, for 47 laps. It seems like in the past, the bottom wasn't as fast as what it is now. So you wanted to be on the top, but you had to run the bottom. Now it seems like the bottom hangs in there for so much longer that it pays off to be down there actually versus just saving fuel. It's it's the faster line for the majority of the race, it seems like, anymore.
Yeah, but talk to us a little bit about, it can be faster, man, but how much more technical is it to hit the bottom when, you only have that little bit of tack there for the left side tire? I mean, if you mess up at all, you're going to hit the berm, or, man, you're going to lose a bunch of speed in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, it's just one of those type of deals. It's slower, faster almost. When you're in a pack, you got guys just running around you, and you're everybody wound up. You're like, man, I'm gonna get my doors blown off. But it seems like you just run your pace and stay committed to the bottom and keep the left front from hitting the berm too terribly hard and shooting the nose across the track. You end up being able to carry good momentum and keep that high line. They just don't pull you like they used to, it seems like.
Yeah, definitely, since it's getting a little more realistic, you find that tack on the bottom and you can hang with the guys a lot more. But, man, Keith, you were fast tonight. I'm looking forward to see what that 13 can do tomorrow. It's gonna be tough to run down that rocket ship if you get to set the pace like you plan on tomorrow night. But, man, you got a lot of nice sponsors on that 113. Who you want to thank?
Guys I raced with: Jack, Devo, Greg, Gary. I think them three, Greg, Gary, and Jack, they're running tonight. So good luck to those gentlemen, and you guys for putting up with our nonsense week in and week out, and Roger and everybody at C2C for giving us this opportunity, this platform to kill some time in the evenings.
Well, Keith, hopefully tomorrow you do a little bit more than kill some time. Hopefully we're talking to you again, man. That thing looked like a rocket ship, and I think you definitely got a car that can contend for a win tomorrow night, man. So go out there and give them hell.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. That's what we're hoping for.
All right. Good luck, Keith. Take it easy, brother.
Thank you, buddy. You too.
That's your winner here this evening, and he will start P1 tomorrow night for the Knoxville Nationals. As Keith Jackson, you saw a great jump on that start, able to just pull away as the guys behind him went to war. Blake Chapman going to start beside him. Dan McLaren, that thing looks so much like Dan McLaren's car to me. Ross Carina third, Brad Waite fourth there. Don't go anywhere. We are going to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network as we jump over into our next and final session here. Knoxville Nationals Hard Knocks. Spots 21 through 24 are on the line next. So stick around.
it's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get...
Right when we were talking about it,
outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We are back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network with the Hard Knox feature event here. If you weren't locked in the show, if you weren't in the top 16, well, you found yourself here tonight. And you're racing for spots 21, 22, 23, and 24. 4 spots on the line for the main show here tonight as Man, you were going to see guys take the gloves off here and probably get a little dirty here at Knoxville. Man, you want to make the show, and, you know, tomorrow night, tomorrow night, spots 17, 18, 19, and 20, but it's your last chance. You know, you don't want to have to wait until then. You don't want to have to go that long. That's not what you want to do. You want to make your way in here tonight. And, well, right now we got 28 guys in this session. So, a lot of guys here on the docket tonight. And that's all the more elbows getting out as far as I'm concerned. Let's see if there are any other guys running in any other practice sessions here. Doesn't look like it. Oh, excuse me, I wasn't able to get to the mute there in time. My apologies. See, nobody running around in this room either. You see, they're all parked on pit road right now. We're trying to find someone clicking down the grid of guys. Nobody wants to go out and do any practice here right now. Seeing all these guys sit on pit road, they definitely want to make my work a little harder for me. Oh, okay, that's why. Probably a driver meeting there, and now we're going to roll here as we'll go into qualifying. You know, like you say, this is a totally new night. Has nothing to do with tomorrow. Right now, yesterday or Monday, you're just racing for 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th for tomorrow. So everything you've done out the window here. Because right now we flirted with this mic. You're going to get a little behind the scenes again. We turned this one down a little too much here. So right now we're watching Steven Goldner go around the track, and you know, pay attention to that bottom. You know, green is their personal best. Purple's best out of anyone. See Parker Annis with a purple in Sector 2 right now. He's P1. Steven Goldner's going to take that over. Steven Goldner, P1. Right now, Connor Ross, purple in Sector 1. Let's see what he's got, the 35 machine. Going to float it up in 3 and 4. Connor Ross is going to park at 5th, and Jack Clevenger just took over the top of the charts here. Kyle Fahey now. Now I'm not really liking how quiet this is. We've got to go in here and turn these up. This is too quiet for sprint car motors here. Sam Bachman, his final lap brings it on P13. Tayton Sander, his final lap P11. Looking, this should be everyone pretty much. So Kyle Fahey, Jack Clevenger, Chad Griggs round out your top 3, and turns out that was everyone here. Ooh, and now this is going to be one of those ones that I'm not sure if they meant to invert the field or not here like this. Is you probably don't want to punish a guy who qualifies towards the front in the hard knocks, but they might have had it planned like that. But now Samuel Bachman, he's going to inherit the pole here for heat number 1. Is, you know, for hard knocks, no points involved, so it's just you want to finish in the top 4. Let's go ahead and we'll bring you the starting grid here. Samuel Bachman on the pole and is outside. Parker Annis inside of row number 2. We've got Steven Goldner and is outside. Kyle Fahey. Logan Wentz is going to roll off on the inside of row number 3 and is outside. The mayor, Steven Bixler, rounding out the field tonight in heat number 1 for tonight's Hard Knocks. It's going to be Harold Klump. Samuel Bachman. You know, this is where we're going to get to figure out some stuff here tonight. If there's going to be a bottom in 1 and 2, if you want to be up top. If Parker gets a huge run out of 2 here on the opening lap, that's going to be a big deal. And now, you know, I think I did turn up the motors too high, as we heard them there all rolling together. I can't find a happy median.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is out here. Samuel Bachman, he's going to hold the bottom. He's got the 30 of Steven Goldner behind him, but like I talked about, Parker and his grip in the lip on the high side, and he is going to see if he can't take over the lead here. Parker is your new leader at the line. So I may have to go around and individually edit each one here, but oh, Parker, he's looking for the crossover back over Steven Goldner. There's contact in the back. Kyle Fahey, Logan Wentz around. No caution. Steven Goldner out front. Not really feeling any pressure from Parker there as Parker kisses the wall. That's really going to open up the gap here as we're on lap number 4. Samuel Bachman plays around with the bottom in 1 and 2, and now Steven Bixler looks to get a run on the high side. He's looking to take over P3 here in the middle of 3 and 4. Steve Bixler in that 75. He has found some speed here, high and handsome. Up to P3 in the 75. Kyle Fahey, after the early mistake, he's trying to run these guys back down, and man, he's doing it pretty quick here. Kyle Fahey having a lot of success in that number 16 machine. Samuel Bachman off the pace in the 007. Steven Goldner all by himself out front, coming out of 4, 2 to go this time by for the 30. You see the gap there back to Parker, no sweat. Gap back to Steven Bixler. Harold Klump feeling some pressure here from Kyle Fahey coming down the backstretch. Kyle Fahey with a big run, going to send it in. Not enough room to clear. Got to keep it on the bottom. White flag is out for the 30 of Steven Goldner. You see he is gone. Sam Bachman possibly out of gas, pulling in the pits. Here, Kyle Fahey was able to get around Harold Klump. Final time through 3 and 4. Kyle Fahey up top. Steven Goldner, heat race number 1 winner, followed by Parker Annis, Steven Bixler, Kyle Fahey, and Harold Klump. Rounding out the field, Sam Bachman and Logan Wentz. Get a good view of Steven Bixler here before he disappears into thin air. There he goes. And looks like we got the starting grid here for heat race number 2. Starting on the pole, we have the 161 of Terry Landis, and it is outside in the 051, Clay Christopherson. Inside of row number 2, the 088 of Trent Verstraeten, and it is outside in the 78, Jack Clevenger. Inside of row number 3, we've got the 36 of Barry Goldner, and is outside in the 91, Corey Denson. Rounding out the field tonight in the 099, we have Glenn Sharp. The Desert Demon Terry Landis, he gets to start out front, and you know, he likes to catfish the bottom. Not sure how much of the bottom is left here. It seems to be a slider line right now, but and if there's any of it left here, Terry will find it. Coming through 3 and 4 for the final time here. Should be getting ready to go green here. His pace car is off. Green flag is in the air, and the Desert Demon Terry Landis looks to lead him down the front stretch here to the green flag.
Green.
Terry Landis with a good jump goes to the bottom in 1 and 2. We'll see him roll through the middle and come by. Terry Landis with a little hiccup there on the bottom. They're 3 wide for P2 going into turn 3. Almost 4 wide here for the lead as Clay Christopherson, high and handsome, was from second to first. New leader here, lap number 2. Jack Clevenger all over the Desert Demon. Terry Landis had to check up a little bit, and Trent Verstraeten gets a big run looking at his outside in the 088. Trent Verstraeten's going to see if he can't mount a run here going down the front stretch. Not anywhere close enough, though, to make a move. Is looky who is fighting back on the bottom, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis. You know, Blake mentioned he was going to be in here spotting for Terry a little bit, and you got to think having that help, just that knowledge in there with you, telling you where to go. He missed the bottom there through 1 and 2. He wants to be a little bit lower, and well, you're going to see Clay Christopherson there. He pulls away from him a little bit. But when Terry Landis hits this bottom correctly, now he's there on exit. He wants to ride that the whole way through 3 and 4 as we're halfway. Top 4 under a blanket here. Any one of those 4 could win this. Battling throughout the field, Barry Goldner. No real pressure from Glenn Sharp and Corey Denson all by himself back in the back. Here is where the action is with 3 to go. Terry Landis does a good job of hitting 1 and 2 that time. As you see, he kept the left sides on the dirt. Right there in the tack, the whole thing's dirt. You want to stay out of that shine. You want to keep grip on that left rear tire, and that's what Terry's trying to do here. 2 to go. Feeling the pressure on the outside from the 78 of Jack Clevenger as Jack Clevenger looks to go around the 161. Going to shut the door going into 3 and 4. Terry Landis looks back on the high side as the white flag is out. Final time around in heat number 2. Terry Landis is going to lose P3 to Trent Verstraeten. He's going to look back and see if he can't counter. But coming through 3 and 4 for the final time, your leader here, Clay Christopherson, takes the checkered flag, followed by Jack Clevenger, Trent Verstraeten, Terry Landis, Barry Goldner, Glenn Sharp, and Corey Denson going to bring up the back of the field. What a battle there. What a race to the end there in heat number 2. Should have 4 heats tonight, I believe. So heat race number 3. We'll bring up the starting grid, and it's going to look a little something like this. Starting on the front row and the pole, the 014 of Greg Boydell, and is outside the 700 machine of Tate and Sander. Inside of row number 2, we have the 217 of Jack Hitt, and is outside the 27 of Chad Griggs. Inside of row number 3, the 17 of Mark Gilbert, and is outside the 831 of Tyler Flynn. Rounding out the field tonight in the 302 machine, we have John Rayner, but it looks like Tate and Sander possibly wants to start in the back here. So that's what Chad Griggs wanted to see. That moves him up a row, and you got to think that makes Chad Griggs easily the favorite here for heat race number 3. Is ever so close to winning this Knoxville Nationals event in the past. He's got to be hungry for one here as the green flag gets ready to fly here at Knoxville Nationals. Knoxville
Green
Speedway.
flag, green flag.
Chad Griggs immediately goes to the top here. Going to try to mount a big run on the 014 of Greg Boydell, and he is going to do exactly that. Not too far behind him, the 217 of Jack Hitt. He's looking for a big run there on the outside. He's trying to follow Chad Griggs. Greg Boydell's just caught in no man's land there in the middle. It's just too much in the slick. You know, it's the shortest way around the track, but if you can't get back to the throttle, it's not doing you any good here. As He's going to move up the racetrack, try to put a block on the 217 of Jack Hitt. And Jack Hitt, he may have suffered some damage there getting in the wall. Jack Hitt. He is going to have to throw it in there and get by. Oh, no. Here comes the 7 of Tate, the 700 of Tate and Sander. Big move. The Sandman trying to grind his way to the front here is going down the backstretch. He's trying to get a run here, looking for P3. Trying to mount a big run here and go after Greg Boydell for P2, but he touches the wall. Tyler Flynn and Greg Boydell get together. Greg Boydell goes around. Tyler Flynn keeps going. But, oh, man, here is we're at the halfway point. Chad Griggs coming to 3 to go. He's got this thing locked up. Tate and Sander here. He's feeling some pressure from the 217 of Jack Hitt. It's Jack Hitt trying to see if he can't take over P2. P1's pretty much decided for here in heat race number 3, but man, P2 is definitely far from over this battle as Jack Hitt throws a big slider. The 700 of Tate and Sander tries to counter back. Is he going to throw a slider of his own? Yes, he is. 3 and 4. He's going to park it up next to the wall. Jack Hitt looks back under him here as the white flag is out. Final time around here. We are going to stay up here in the booth. Try to get an overview here as we'll watch the battle for second. Chad Griggs has this locked up. Tate and Sander with a slide drop through 3 and 4. Jack Hitt looks to counter coming off of 4. Who's going to have it at the line? Jack Hitt's going to take P2, followed by Tate and Sander, Mark Gilbert, Tyler Flynn, Greg Boydell, and John Rayner. Chad Griggs considerably walked off with that one in the 27. Man, Chad Griggs showing he's going to be a one to contend for here as he wants a top 4 spot. Show you your starting grid here for your final heat race of the night. Starting on the pole, the General Andy Patton in the 87 and is outside in the 88. Soupy Dan McLaren. Daddy's Money Connor Ross on the inside of row number 2 and is outside in the 29. Steven Stewart. The Bassman Roger Craig in the 747 rolls off P5 and is outside in the 043. We have Bryce Odell and John Dolly not making the call here, so we are only going to have 6 make this grid here. So we're going to go in the aerial cam here through 3 and 4 as the green flag gets ready to wave. See if we can bring you up to the starter stand. We can. Let's go racing at Knoxville Raceway. Heat race number 4 is off. Your final heat race of the night in Canada. Connor, Daddy's Money looking to the bottom. We were almost 3 wide, but Dan McLaren, he went to the top shelf and he took over P1. But now Connor Ross looks to the bottom through 3 and 4. He's your leader after lap number 1. Connor throws a slider through 1 and 2. Soupy looks to counter back here. He's going to look under. He's going to throw a slider of his own in 3. Oh, Connor Ross gets help from behind. And, oh, caution is out. Big wreck is Connor Ross is probably not going to be a happy camper. And, oh, man, he rolls again. Well, Connor, I'm sorry, but we caught all that on the broadcast. Let's see what happens here. Connor Ross looks like he gets some help from behind. Couldn't tell from who. We'll slow it down here. It's going to be the 29 of Steven Stewart. He just goes right over the 35 here. Let's see if we can go in the in-car cam here. Try to speed this up. mean, yeah, just... Connor's not going to be happy with that one. And, you know, Steven, he's going to hurt his own car there. You see, he's got damage on the left front and maybe just being a little too aggressive too early. Because this thing does not want to go back live here. Get a little iRacing Insider. We are going to have to reset this here. Turn this off, reset it back on, and hopefully my live replays will now work. Connor Ross, he not able to make it out as he did have to tow, so he is going to have to finish 6th, it seems like. But we're back racing here as Dan McLaren brings us to the green flag. Soupy ripping the lip in 1 and 2. No pressure from behind is Bryce Odell. He's going to go to the bottom. Steven Stewart, he's going to look to the outside here. Steven Stewart in the 29 machine. See, he's got speed. Just got to be consistent here. Looking to the top, Bryce Odell. He is pretty consistent on the bottom. Maybe necessarily not the fastest line, but just not getting sideways, staying smooth. Final lap here is white flag is out. Final time around for Soupy Dan McLaren. Steven Stewart looks to the outside. This is where the battle is right now. Let's go up here. Checkered flags are waving. Oh, I believe Bryce Odell P2. Yes, he did, barely. Dan McLaren's going to be your heat race number 4 winner, followed by Bryce Odell, Steven Stewart, Andy Patton, Roger Craig, and Connor Ross. We're going to take a... Oh, no, that's right. We're not taking a quick break because we're not going straight to warm-ups. We have a B main here. Let's see here. Let's do a little math in our head. We had 4 heats. We took 4. 4 times 4 is 16, at least when I went to school. 24 minus 16, I believe, is 8. So we're going to be taking 8 here to the feature. Dolly did not make the call for the last heat, so I assume he's not going to be here. So 3 guys will get sent home from this race, I'd imagine. And, you know, this is one of those where when a normal points night, let's say you're in the show, you're just happy, you want to make the show. Well, you don't want to finish 8th place because then you're going to start 24th and you got to pass 20 guys to make the feature or make tomorrow night's feature. You need to finish in the top 4, so you got to be as aggressive as you can here. Trying to work your way up through. And Harold Klump, he is in one of those... He is in that coveted front spot here, starting on the front row of the B main. Pace car is going to go off. We'll go racing this time by here as the green flag is high and it's ready to fly at Knoxville Speedway.
Green flag.
B main action underway. Barry Goldner going to look high right away. Going to see if he can't get a run. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get much, though, here as we all roll off into turn 3. Connor Ross getting run up the hill we saw there in the back. And he's got to get a move on it here. As right now, Connor Ross, 9th place, would not be in the show. Tyler Flynn getting a little contact from behind here. No harm, no foul. They live to play another day. Right now, your 8th and final transfer spot is Corey Denson in the 91. And, man, Connor Ross just looked to his outside trying to take that away. Corey Denson on the inside coming out of 4. He gets a good run on the Bass, man. They were 3 wide. Still almost 3 wide here is Corey Denson with a big-time run here. Roger Craig slides up in front of the 118 of Logan Wentz. Logan Wentz now finds himself in that 9th and not making a transfer spot, but there's a wreck in front of him.
The yellow flag is out.
Greg Boydell around. Let's see if we can figure out what happened here with the 014 of Greg Boydell. So Greg just going to slide in and just going to get it. Let's see if we can go get an aerial view of this just for a little better view. But it looked like he possibly came up. That wasn't the best camera angle. This one will give us a better one. No, so he did. I mean, he didn't really. They're just cars running out of room. I mean, that's a racing incident. You can't really put that on anybody. You know, who was that? Harold Klump got a little loose on entry, and 2 guys just tried to plug a hole that, I mean, 1 guy could barely fit here, and, well, that's what happened. And now Connor Ross, that's what he wanted to see. Bunch of guys wrecking in front of him, and he moves up to that 4th spot. Corey Denson, he's up 7 spots. He's had a hot rod here in the B main. His lights are still on the pace truck, so won't be going green just yet. Should get the 1 to go this time by. We'll line up double file here for this restart. Should have 4 to go when they get the green flag. Tyler Flynn will get to set the pace here on this restart. Steve King Foundation pace truck is off. Green flag is
Green
out.
flag, green
and
flag.
Good jump for Tyler Flynn. Oh, Connor Ross maybe blinking a little bit or got some contact. Oh, somebody's around. Harold Klump goes around. No caution, and he's on his lid. Connor Ross high and handsome up to P3 here with 3 to go. He's looking for P2 going through 3 and 4. Slight contact with the wall, but able to keep up speed as we're side by side for P2, 2 to go. Connor Ross, your quickest car on track right now. Let's go back to the battle here. John Rayner, 9th place. You see in that green machine. He is not going to make it right now. White flag is out this time by. Connor Ross battling for the lead. He's going to take over the lead going down the backstretch. Let's go back to this 8th and final transfer spot. Greg Boydell, no pressure from behind. Greg Boydell seems to have it locked up if he behaves himself. Connor Ross is going to win the B main. This is your... No! Woo! I thought Greg was going to lose that spot there. Slight contact going down the front stretch, but Greg able to hold on and bring it home in P8. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We are back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and right now, warm-up charts look like this. Chad Griggs at the top, Kyle Fahey second, Tayton Sander third, Jack Clevenger fourth, and Jack Hitt running out the top five. Remember, 4 guys vying for spots 21 through 24 here this evening is, man, let's get ready to start this show here at Knoxville. A lot of big-name guys in here who, you know, if you follow the league, you wouldn't think they'd be in this. You'd think, oh, man, how didn't they make the top 16? And, you know, I'm wondering the same thing. And the guy starting on the pole, man, he's one of them. Starting on the pole, the 30 is Steven Goldner, and it is outside in the 051, Clay Christopherson. Inside of row number 3, we have the 27 of Chad Griggs, and to his outside, Soupy Dan McLaren. Inside of row number 3, we've got the 2 of Parker Annis, and to his outside, the 78 of Jack Clevenger. Inside of row number 4, the 7 of Jack Hitt, and to his outside, the 121 of Bryce Odell. Or the 043, excuse me, of Bryce Odell. Inside of row number 5, we've got the mayor, Stephen Bixler, and his outside, Trent Verstraeten. Inside of row number 6, we've got Tayton Sander, and his outside, Steven Stewart. In the Baker's Dozen spot, we've got Kyle Fahey, and his outside, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis. Inside of row number 8, we've got Mark Gilbert in the 17, and his outside, the General, Andy Patton. Let's see here. Inside of row number 9, we've got the 35, Daddy's Money, Connor Ross, and his outside, Tyler Flynn. Corey Denson on the inside of row number 10, and his outside, Logan Wentz. Samuel Bachman starts on the inside of row number 11, and is outside, the Bassman, Roger Craig. And your final 2 starters of the night will be Barry Goldner in the 36 and Greg Boydell in the 014. If you're out there watching in the chat box, let us know who you're rooting for. This is the final time around here, Knoxville Speedway, until we get some green flag action here for Hard Knocks. Remember, 5th place pays nothing. You don't want it. You're going for 4th here. You're going to drive hard. You got to drive the wheels off this thing if you want to win tonight. And coming through 3 and 4 for the final time, Flagman's got the green in the air as we're ready to play in the clay at Knoxville Speedway. Let's go racing for the Knoxville Nationals. Hard Knocks as the green flag's flying, and we're racing. Steven Goldner getting caught in no man's land in the middle of 1 and 2. He gets washed up in the 051 of Clay Christopherson. He tries to sing a tune on the high side, but the 30 with a big-time slide job in 3 and 4. He parks it up top, and now Chad Griggs looks to get a run on the bottom as the 30 plays a little defense. Chad Griggs has to get on the binders here as, oh man, we're seeing a car around in the back. Who is that? Kyle Fahey. No caution. No caution for Kyle Fahey. Terry Landis, the Desert Demon, already up 4 spots. Trying to catfish that bottom. Gets a little tight. Almost gets up into the 088 at Trent Verstraeten. He had to get out of the throttle. Chad Griggs just surfing the bottom down low. He's gonna, be saving some right rear tire as opposed to that 30th Stephen Goldner ripping the lip on the high side out front. Take a look at some of our big movers here. Logan Wentz up 4 spots. Oh, right as we go back.
The yellow flag is out.
Big wreck. Corey Denson, Samuel Bachman, Logan Wentz involved. Let's go back and take a look at this here. There's Corey Denson. See if we can get a better view than this here. So they were already making contact there in 1 and 2. Logan Wentz, gets into it with someone there, I believe. Could not tell who that was. Let's go back and we'll rewind here, but we'll go to Logan Wentz's car. I thought I saw it start. So Logan Wentz in the 118. Man, I could not tell who that was up there. If that's Mark Gilbert? Yeah, that was Mark Gilbert. And Mark Gilbert goes for a ride here. Oh, Tyler Flynn, Samuel Bachman. That was Samuel on the lid there. Let's go back and watch this from Samuel's perspective. Nowhere to go for Sam. And up and over, up and over. Stephen Goldner in the 30, though. He doesn't care. He gets to set the pace out front. He gets to choose where he wants to go on the restart, and he's going to pick the bottom here as we get the green flag. Should be coming to lap 6 out of 25 here. Remember, top 4 lock themselves into the show. Greg Boydell up 8 spots here so far. Keep an eye on the 014 of Greg Boydell. He's showing some speed. The green flag is high and it's ready to fly. Stephen Goldner brings us back to green flag racing action. Oh, Parker Hannis there. You see him looking in the middle on the high side of Jack Clevenger there in the 78 machine. Can he make a move as Jack Clevenger slides up in front of the 2? And who is that on the bottom down there? Is that...
The yellow flag is out.
Connor Ross involved somehow. Let's see. Caution is out. Go back and see what... So Greg Boyd, it started earlier than this between Connor and Greg Boydell. We're going to rewind here a little bit. Connor coming down the front stretch. Maybe chops Greg Boydell a little bit, but man, that's a case of might not have known Greg was there, and Greg's gonna really pay for that one. That's one where maybe in hindsight you kind of just want to crack the throttle and back out of that. We talked about how many positions he had gained. He was up 7, maybe 8 spots at that point, and you want to live your race another day and you're not going to finish in the top 4 on lap 7, but you can almost guarantee that you're not going to finish in the top 4 on lap 7 if you get involved in an accident like that. That's really going to put a damper on the 014's hopes here. I believe Greg, he was in the top 20 in Knoxville National points. Don't quote me on this. I believe 18th or 19th, and remember, the top 16 locked themselves in. He was only 2 or 3 points away from locking himself in, so that's, one qualifying position. That was one more spot in the heat race, and he had a quick car, just not able to have enough to get it in the show based off points, and trying to race his way in through the Hard Knox event here, that's going to make it that much harder for the 014 of Greg Boydell. We go through turn 3 and 4 for the final time here before the green flag gets ready to fly here for Steven Goldner. Steven Goldner, as soon as he gets that tack on the bottom, he fires. And you see what a jump for Steven Goldner in that 30 machine. You see racing all over the track. You can hear cars getting in the wall, and possibly Connor Ross here about to come by on our screen. Looks like he's off the pace. Battle for the lead is on as Chad Griggs looks to the inside of that 30 as Steven Goldner. Steven Goldner with a big run off of 4. Chad can't get it done yet. Chad going to keep it on the bottom in 1 and 2, and Steven Goldner just carries all that momentum off the top, and he's going to go right back around that 27 here. But Chad says, hey, man, hang on, I'm not done just yet. Chad Griggs battling back on the bottom through 1 and 2.
Yellow flag is out.
Caution is out on the racetrack. Here in possibly Tyler Flynn. Let's see what happened here. We're going to want a better view than this. Looks like he runs into something. Okay, there we go. Gets into the car in front of him. Loops him around. I believe that was Greg Boydell involved again. He can't catch a break. See, I see Connor Ross grayed out. Is he pulling in the pits? Yeah, so he must have felt like he had some damage. He's going to go in. He's got 15 laps to get his way up into the top 4. And, man, that is going to be a tough task. Oh, man, I don't know if Kyle Larson could do that. Because we are running out of time here in tonight's event. When we go back and get the green flag, should have 15 to go. Yeah, the lap did reset there. We will have 15 to go here. Lights are still on, so not going green just yet here, so don't get too antsy. See guys trying to figure out their starting positions here. Right now, Steven Goldner, he's been the man out front. Nobody has been able to get around that 30. Chad Griggs has gotten really close, but no one's had any success just yet. See it going through 3 and 4 here for the final time. The green flag is high, and it's ready to fly for the 30 of Steven Goldner. We're back racing at Knoxville Raceway. All the sights and sounds in Knoxville Speedway, you gotta love it here. The roar of 360 sprint cars. But man, this battle for P3 is heating up. Dan McLaren knows 4 make it to the show, but he does not want to sit on that bubble, because looky who is coming high and handsome on that outside. The 78 of Jack Clevenger. He wants to make it in your show Thursday night. Jack Clevenger fighting behind a loose race car of the 88, and Jack Clevenger kisses the wall. He's got to hope he didn't damage that 78 machine, but Jack hit now. He's going to work on the 88. He says, Shaggy, don't forget about me. Dan McLaren's got to get on the binders or crack the throttle. Doesn't want to get in the back of Clay Christopherson. Man, man, this battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th is heating up. Out front, Chad Griggs, there you see it too, slowly reeling in your leader, Stephen Goldner. But we don't want to take our eyes off the battle for these transfer spots. As Dan McLaren almost gets into the back of Clay Christopherson. Soupy knows man, he can't be patient. He's got to go. One big run from Jack Clevenger on the high side.
The yellow
and
flag
he
is
loses
out.
4th, and caution is out. Caution is out on the racetrack. Parker Annis. See Parker in that white and blue machine. See him just, oh yeah, he got loose, tapped the wall. Boom, he's going to bang it here hard. Gonna lose the wing. The wing's gonna come back on because it was on a slinky. And man, he tried to tow it, but just not in time. Caution's gonna come out. We'll have 9 to go here when the green flag flies again at Knoxville Speedway. Right now, Soupy, he's got a hold of that coveted 4th and final transfer spot. Greg Boydell, he's been able to race his way back up to 16th after the earlier incident. He's got Connor Ross behind him. They are just slowly and sadly running out of time. It doesn't look like either of them are going to be able to mount a charge and get back up here. Terry Landis, the Desert Demon, he's up 6 spots up to 8th. He's got to get 4 more. You know, he can do it. Steven Stewart, he's up 5 spots. That Victory Fuel machine, and, you know, they're a proud sponsor of our Victory Lane here this week at the Knoxville Nationals. Is that Victory Fuel machine. That thing looks good. You got to wonder if he can get up into one of those 4 final transfer positions here. Single file starts really stretch the field out. Coming through 3 and 4. The flag is, the green is high and it's ready to fly here. Stephen Goldner, he's going to pick the top here on this start, whereas Chad Griggs, he went directly to the bottom. Pretty even for the most part, it seems like. Let's keep an eye out here on Dan McLaren. He is in that 4th and final transfer spot. As he goes in there, he gives a little kiss to the 051 and he gets sideways. Jack Clevenger loves seeing that, as I bet you his eyes got wide in this machine, as he is slowly running these guys down. Let's go on board. Jack Clevenger searching for every bit he can on this racetrack, just trying to find some speed. Is seeing somebody fall down through the Tate and Sander involved in a little accident here, as no caution is out. He's gonna pull it off. Chad Griggs, though, up front, able to get around Stephen Goldner for the race lead. But man, we got to keep an eye out on this battle for P4, this final transfer spot that we've talked about so often. As if the race ended there, Dan McLaren would have lost it on the last lap. Jack Clevenger just had him on the high side. That is the battle for P4. Now all of a sudden the battle for P3 and 4 is Dan McLaren sends it in. He's looking for P3. Oh, Clay Christopherson up on the high side here, trying to find some room. And look at Kyle Fahey in the 16. 3 wide through 3 and 4. Kyle Fahey has found some speed when he needed it. He's into that 4th and final transfer spot. Now he's going to push Clay in the 4th and final transfer spot. 2.5 laps to go here at Knoxville's Race Speedway. Kyle Fahey finds himself on the outside here. 2 sticks in the air. He looks to be transferred in as he's trying to go to work on Stephen Goldner. Dan McLaren trying to run down the 051 of Clay Christopherson. You're seeing it there in the front of the screen, the battle for P2. Look at Kyle Fay trying to get by Steven Goldner. White flag is out, final time. Those guys are both in the show, but they don't care. They're racing hard. Kyle Fay looking for P2. Final time through 3 and 4. Chad Griggs is going to be your Hard Knocks winner, followed by Kyle Fay, Steven Goldner, and Clay Christopherson brings home that 4th and final transfer spot. Dan McLaren, the odd man out here tonight. Jack Clevenger 6th, Jack hit 7th, Steven Stewart 8th, Trent Verstraeten 9th, and the General Andy Patton P10. And you know, we're not going to run for the rest of the field because, I mean, honestly, does it matter? We were worried about the top 4 here tonight. We're going to just go ahead and we'll show you here, everyone, real quick. We ran you down that top 10. Logan Wentz 11th. Bryce Odell, Terry Landis, Roger Craig, G.J. Boydell, Barry Goldner, Steven Bixler, Corey Denson, Parker Ennis, and Tyler Flynn round out the top 20. Mark Gilbert, Tayton Sander, Connor Ross, and Samuel Bachman will round out the field here this evening. And man, we were treated to a good one there up front. Kyle Fahey showed he had some speed there at the end, but maybe just ran out of time here. But we'll see if we can't get Clay Christopherson up here in the booth and see if we can't get a word with all of our top 4 finishers here this evening. As here he is, just seeing him make his way up to the waiting room. Clay, man, talk to us about bringing home that 4th and final transfer spot, man. You had your hands full. That had to be exciting.
There's a lot of good guys around, man. Like I said, this is like my 3rd week with these things, and it's a track I usually struggle with, and I just started giving it less, and it came out more. Like it was a rocket ship at quarter throttle pretty much all the way around the track, and then I started running the middle at the end, and it just felt comfortable. Kind of just, I set in place, and if somebody was going to pass me, they'd have to go somewhere else because I was pretty locked in on the bottom.
Yeah, you know, we saw a little bit of that, and we're actually, I think right now, perfect timing. We're watching it on the broadcast right now. You were talking about just putting it on the bottom and setting it up there and making guys go around you. Did you feel that kiss from the 88 you got in 3 and 4 there? Did that make you get a move on it at all?
Oh, I felt the wheel free up for a little bit, but luckily it was right on entry, so I kind of was able to correct it a little bit with throttle. But yeah, it was no big deal. I was slowing down a lot coming into that corner to maintain keeping the car straight. If you got sideways, your whole straightaway was cooked.
No, yeah, you're exactly right. You know, you gotta, if you're gonna run that bottom, you gotta keep it straight to maintain that momentum. And man, you brought that 51 home in the 4th and final transfer spot. Gonna start 24th in the Knoxville Nationals, man. You know, you gotta feel good about making the show, but man, if you want that podium, you got a long way to climb. You think you got a shot, Clay?
I don't know. I think I got maybe a top 10 car, hopefully a top 5, but if not, I feel like that might be good enough for Hard Charger, and that'll be a trophy on itself.
Well, hey, man, that FTM machine looked really good tonight. Got a lot of nice sponsors on that thing. Who you want to thank?
FTM, all the guys, DJ for the wrap, Swan Speed Shop for all the fastest 358 and big block setups, just all the guys on the team for helping with setups and helping me, mainly Murano telling me how to drive these things.
Well, hey, hell of a job tonight, Clay, man. You locked yourself in. You get to take the early portion of tomorrow night off and get to work on that setup for the feature. So congratulations. Looking to see what you can do tomorrow night for me and Marty.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
That's Clay Christopherson, your 4th and final transfer position.
Wow.
And now, Steven Goldner, that was such perfect timing. I love you for that. That was so awesome. It's so great. But, that's what happens when sometimes you're pulling guys up out of the booth and, you get some of that driver language. But Stephen Goldner, man, you set the pace out front early on, but just talk to us a little bit about the end. Was the car starting to go away from you, or, maybe did you not put enough gas in? Were you trying to save gas? What was going on there?
No, I made sure I had plenty of fuel. Usually I'm one of those first ones to run out. We added an extra gallon and a half, pretty well. But I think I had the wing too far back running the top. And then when I went and moved down to the bottom, I was just too tight and didn't really think about moving it forward at all. So, I was going in the corner tight, and then it snapped loose on exit. And it wasn't really where, I hit it real good one lap. I'm like, oh, I'll be fine down here. And then I'm so used to just pulling the wing back and driving harder. But when you get around the bottom, it's real tough to do that.
Yeah, this update, it's definitely changed the game on the way you got to drive these things. But Steven, whether you're starting 23rd or first, you're going to be one of the headliners going into tomorrow's show. But what's the fine line? How do you work your way up through the traffic and save that right rear tire while also making sure you got enough gas to get across the line?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of patience. I mean, luckily, starting that far back, it's going to be pretty easy for you to save fuel, I think, early. So that I don't think fuel's really going to be an issue. The right rear tire, I'm really hard on it all the time. So that's going to have to be something I got to save for a while in the race, and hopefully, by 20 to go or whatever, we can start pushing. But I think we'll just cruise for a little bit and hopefully stay out of the accidents. That's going to be the biggest thing, I think, and maybe we can be there at the end.
Yeah, man. Well, you're able to lock that number 30 machine in the show. Got a lot of nice sponsors on that thing, man. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank Ross Corinne at Velocity Race Designs, Moon and Racing Engines, Moon and Tile Co., all the guys that Bandy built, great group of guys. I love racing with them. They're like family to me. Fits Perfect Photography, Dylan Westbrook Racing, and the memorial for his uncle there, and the Hall of Fame, Knoxville Hall of Fame, Victory Fuel, and all the other great partners with this division.
Yeah, well, hell of a job, Steven, doing my job for me, even thanking all the sponsors, which, of course I appreciate. But, man, looking forward to see if you can't nab that hard charger tomorrow, man, and maybe get that 30 on the podium. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of fun talking to you. It's been a while since I had an interview. I think I haven't ran very well in the last couple of seasons. So hopefully we can talk to you guys again tomorrow and charge up through the field.
Looking forward to it, Steven. Good job, man.
All right, thanks.
That's Stephen Goldner, your P3 finisher. And, now we're going to bring up a man who seemingly came out of nowhere, started 13th, going to bring home P2. Kyle Fahey, you're in the show, brother.
Yeah, I'm happy. I just want to thank everyone from 25 Enterprise and House of Speed and all the boys back in the Discord.
Well, man, you found speed on the top at the end. Were you just waiting? I'm being honest with you. We're kind of keeping an eye on the battle for P4. How were you working your way up through the field? Were you working that high side the whole time, or was that something you found right as you got to the top 4?
So with 2 laps in, I believe it was, I almost went a lap down. I think the leaders were like 7 seconds behind me.
That's right, Kyle. We brought you up on the broadcast. That's right. Yeah, coming out of 2. I forgot all about that. So that you had to fight the whole way from the back. That makes it all that more impressive, man.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Well, working your way, I mean, you had to start midfield. You get involved in that accident that I forgot about that you happily reminded me. You got to pass some of those guys twice working your way back up. You got to feel confident even though you're starting 22nd tomorrow. I mean, got to feel like you got a car that can work through the field, right?
Yeah, and a lot more stress off of me that I don't have to run the B main tomorrow, so that's a goal. But then again, I just want to thank you for House of Speed and 25 Enterprise for everything they do.
Well, Kyle, I was going to tell you to thank your sponsors, but it seems like you have there, man. But congratulations, and we're really looking forward to see what that 16 can do tomorrow because, man, coming through from the back of the pack that quick, dude, that thing's a rocket ship.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
That's Kyle Fahey, your P2 finisher, and now we're going to bring up the man who was able to get around the 30 is Steven Goldner, and well, Chad, unlucky night there in your trials night. We know what you're capable of, and man, you showed it tonight. You got to feel good about winning this thing, but at the same time, you got to pass 20 guys if you want to win this thing tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. It's a long race. What I need to be more worried about tomorrow is what cost me my qualifying night, and that was just extremely bad luck, wrong place, wrong time. Just seemed like every time I turned around, whether it was a heat race or the feature, I got wadded up in somebody else's stuff that was no fault of mine, and car broke every time, and just every time it was just it was so frustrating. So I just set out and I said, all right, I got to do it tonight because I don't want to have to mess with the soup and do that nonsense tomorrow. So let's get out here and do it. But yeah, I thought we had a great race tonight, and Goldner and all of us up front, we raced hard, we raced clean, we raced close. But yeah, I'm thankful to be in, and yeah, 47 laps, 21st. Give me some time. I'll be there at the end.
Yeah, I'd honestly be shocked if I don't see that 27 at least up in the top 5 there in the final couple laps, mixing it up for the win. But Chad, we saw you bottom feed tonight. Is that going to be something, that a lot of guys are going to be trying to do tomorrow, to save that right rear tire, maybe save some gas, and, eventually somebody's going to have to venture up and try to run that top. What time do you think they do it? When's too early?
I don't know that you'd have to run the bottom the whole time. A lot of guys are probably going to want to know that they're safe on fuel. I'll probably stick down there early on, maybe not early on. I don't know. It's going to kind of depend on. I'm going to look at the track state. The track state is going to tell me where I'm going to need to run early. If there's a top and I can get up there and make some moves, and other guys are unwilling to go up there, I'll go up there and make moves early up top, and then I'll bring myself down, save my fuel later in the race, and the tires, bring the tires back in line later in the race. But it's all just going to kind of depend on the track state to me. Like tonight in the feature, I went up there, experimented with the top. I could run it, but it's a real fine line with disaster. It was so spent. And I told myself, do I really want to risk it up there or putt around the bottom, be safe? All I got to do is finish in the top 4, hold my spot, and I'm okay. And then Goldner was having a little bit of trouble off the exit when he was running the bottom, and I was able to get a run and not look back. So we'll just kind of see what the track state does tomorrow. But that's going to determine where I run, because if I got the top open and there's something there and I can make moves early, I got to make the moves early. I got to get to the front somehow. So.
Well, Chad, I'm going to pick your brain here. One more question, because you've got a lot more experience on this dirt than I do, and it's been a while since I've been here at Knoxville. We see some tracks here as the race goes on, the 40, 50 lappers. They kind of rubber up there in the middle. Are we going to see a middle line develop here, maybe at all, the last couple laps of the feature tomorrow?
I don't really know that. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I've not run any, let's call them practice races or test sessions where you'll get a track that's really kind of as spent as it was tonight. I know that a lot of big tracks like this, Eldora being one I've raced a few times recently, where it's got really black. And yes, there is kind of a fine line there, kind of like a middle line that's right in the black that you just baby the throttle, but it carries more momentum than the guys on the bottom are able to carry by hugging the bottom. So I don't know if we'll see it. If we do, somebody's going to have to be able to notice it and get there if that's the fast way around. But just going to be a battle of being aware of your surroundings. And of course, like I said, tomorrow it's going to be being careful and having a little bit of luck on your side and not having bad luck.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, I don't want to know where you're going to hide the horseshoe tomorrow for luck, but I can use my imagination. But man, Chad, you you're one of the guys that I don't care if you started 24th here, 21st, no big deal. Plenty of time tomorrow. 47 laps. You got a calm head. You can get it done if you stay out of trouble, man. But first things first here, that beautiful blue, white, and purple machine. It's got a lot of sponsors on that thing. Who you want to thank?
First of all, I'd like to thank Coast to Coast, Roger, all the guys. I know what it takes to put this stuff on. There's a lot of guys behind the scenes. I don't know them all, but all the guys that put in their time and donate their time and effort to make this thing go, and especially a big event like this. All the sponsors that help put this on and donate the money and the prizes and what have you. I don't know the list of all those either, but if you're one of those, thank you to those people as well. Thank you for the broadcast. You all do a wonderful job every night. So thank you so much for that. Thank my team, Scott Thomason Racing, Scott Thomason himself, my guys on my team, to the help that they provide, and when we're testing and what have you. Also thank Josh Whiteman with Finish Line Race Designs. He's the one that does my beautiful paint jobs, and he does a wonderful job. If you need a good paint job and want somebody great to work with, look up him with Finish Line Race Designs. And yeah, so that's it. I look forward to tomorrow night.
Well, hell of a job tonight, Chad, and man, looking forward to seeing you climb that ladder tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
That's Chad Griggs, your Hard Knox winner here this evening in Victory Fuel's Victory Lane. And man, hopefully Chad doesn't drink too much Victory Fuel tonight and he gets some sleep, because he's got a lot of guys to pass tomorrow night if he wants to win this thing. And final thoughts here at Knoxville. Going to sound a little something like this. I mean, we saw the guys behave. Didn't get too aggressive tonight, which honestly I'm a little surprised about. I thought we'd maybe see some elbows get thrown there, but man, it was good, clean, hard racing for the top four. And Dan McLaren with that 5th place position that nobody wants. He's got to come back tomorrow night for Soup Night. But speaking of tomorrow night and coming back for Soup Night, I'm going to be here. It's the SJRN, Marty Sakala. He's going to bring you most of the action. But, man, I'm going to be sitting here. I'm just going to be along for the ride, watching some good racing. And, once again, big shout-out to the to the Sprint Car Hall of Fame for coming on board and helping sponsor the Venom Race Team. All they do for this league, I mean, they're tremendous drivers, and they go above and beyond to help out. And once again, Victory Fuel coming on board, sponsoring Victory Lane this week. That's huge. But night number 3, huge success at Knoxville. And I'm Zach Chapman with Shaggy TV, and I'm going to be signing off. So from everybody for the Coast to Coast Racing Network, we thank you for joining in and watching night number 3 of Hard Knocks here at Knoxville Nationals. Make sure you're back with us tomorrow. You do not want to miss the final night. Going to start early here. We got the Alphabet Soup going on, and then we got the big main event for the Knoxville Nationals. So make sure you're here tomorrow. Tune in, and I'll be here. So once again, for everybody that tuned in, thank you. Have a good evening, and tune in tomorrow. Take it easy.